then there'd be like a heartbreaking scene where he's like, no, you have to invent S.H.I.E.L.D.
I'd probably try to double up. Do Peggy and her niece at the same time. It's fucking weird. It's a fucking weird thing. It's a fucking weird relationship.
I'm not going to spend a lot of time thinking about that. Hello everyone, and welcome back to the Wednesday Night Gentlemen Multimedia Empire official podcast. This is episode number 9. On this show, we talk about comic books, movies, TV shows, video games, and everyone's favorite political discourse. I am your host, Tactic Angel, and with me is Midget Radio, my murderous socialist friend.
Hello.
Hello, Midget Radio. Thank you for joining.
My pleasure.
I know that we've had a couple of weeks off.
Yeah.
So I'm sure that the entire internet is happy that we're back.
I'm sure they are.
The whole thing. Well, let's get right into it. I think we have 3 topics today, and all of them are going to be better than last week. And I think that we are both more sober for it.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So today we are going to be talking about No Man's Sky, the Foundation update, Westworld, the entirety of the first season, and then Star Wars, specifically Star Wars The Force Awakens, but probably also all of Star Wars, because I don't think that you can split them up. But that's in preparation for us seeing Rogue One, hopefully in the coming week or weeks. I don't even know when it comes out.
I think it might be this week.
Okay.
It could be like the Wednesday that this episode comes out, actually.
Really?
I don't know, maybe.
All right. Well, we're going to talk about it, right?
Absolutely.
When it happens, I guess it says December 16th.
Okay.
So that's a thing.
Yeah. Exciting.
We're going to talk about that, and it's going to be probably great. It's probably going to be just great.
I hope so.
But first, let's talk about No Man's Sky. We have talked about No Man's Sky before. I don't know if anyone heard that because, of course, our audio was all jacked up in the early days.
Yeah.
Instead of now, it's like
pristine.
Perfect. Yeah,
pristine.
Right? So No Man's Sky is, of course, the latest game that came out for the PlayStation and the PC from Hello Games. It features an infinite or functionally infinite procedurally generated universe. You can fly from planet to planet and solar system to solar. It's a lot. There's a lot. This came out August and didn't get the warmest of receptions.
No.
They spent several months fixing bugs, and finally last month gave us a big update called the Foundation update. Midget Radio.
Yeah.
You've played the game.
Mm-hmm.
You've played the Foundation update.
I did.
What do you think?
I mean, they are welcome new additions. I guess I'm approaching it from kind of an odd place. When I first started playing the game, I wasn't disappointed in what they had released. I said before I didn't follow it as closely as some others up until, the release date. But I got it on release day and played it then and thought, I was amazed enough that the game worked, and it seemed to more or less do what I thought it was going to do, which was give you a whole bunch of different planets and a few different races to sort of explore and mine and develop technologies and stuff like that. So I mean, that was fine for me. And with the Foundation update, I haven't done a whole lot. I just found a planet with a habitable base on it, and just now started that process, which seems pretty interesting. And I don't have enough money to buy a freighter yet, so I don't know how that works. But it's cool to be able to go in a freighter now. So I don't know. I mean, it to me, it's a welcome update for a game that I wouldn't say was really all that broken in the first place. But I understand I'm largely alone on that.
Well, I think the thing is, like, you were not on the hype train. Like, you were on the interested train, which was, a few stations back from the hype train. and the hype train, everyone thought they were, riding down to LA, and they rode it a few stations further into a third world country, probably.
Yeah.
I was more following it on a week to week basis. So, like, I get why people were disappointed, but then at the same time, I had more realistic expectations than I think a lot of people had. So when it came out, I was kind of in the same boat. I spent probably 2 solid weeks just going all over the place and mining things and doing various experiments of my own devising, and then flying my ship around. And I thought it was all right. I've certainly gotten a lot less mileage out of games that I've paid full billing for.
Yeah.
So the Foundation update adds a lot of new capacity to build stuff. Now, did you mess around in the actual building mode?
Just a little bit. I just got a habitable base like yesterday. So I built a straight hallway, and I built a construction terminal. But I haven't hired anybody yet. So
in addition to doing that in the normal game, I'll call it, there's just the building mode.
Yeah.
When you first load it up now, it'll give you the 3 options. Do you want to go, the normal chill out experience? Do you want to do survival, which I guess is pretty tough? And then do you want to do just the building mode? In the building mode, just they set you down next to a base, go.
Yeah. That's cool.
No resource costs. You can just, stick together the Lego blocks however you want. And actually that mechanic is also what makes freighters fun.
Okay.
Because, like you said, you don't have enough money to buy a freighter. I'm on my second freighter.
I don't know what to think of that.
I bought one, and then I was like, oh, this is neat. And then there was another one, and I was like, well, that one looks way better. And I just went over there and I bought that one too.
Holy shit.
Yeah, it was my freighter is the coolest. I'm sure it looks like 100,000 other freighters.
Yeah.
So, you go up, a staircase, and then you turn to the right, you go another staircase, and then you turn to the right, and you go up another staircase, and then you're up there and you're on the bridge, and there's like people all over the place, and you can only talk to one of them.
Yeah, which is a little weird, but yeah.
What? The other guys don't speak English.
That's weird too, but yeah.
You talk to the freighter guy. His English is perfect. He's like, yo, guy, you want to buy this? And if you have the money to say yes, you can buy it. And once you do that, like, you probably walked back and there's another door that doesn't open for you.
Yes.
Once you own the freighter, that door opens. Okay. And it'll just take you into one pod with the recycle bin on the right and the other stuff that you need in order to start building. And at that point, you actually have interior spaces that you build just like you build the bases on the ground.
Interesting.
So that's super neat. So on my first one, I like put an extra room back there. And then, of course, I fly out and I can't find my freighter again because I hadn't figured out how to call it.
Oh, okay. It doesn't mark it like it marks your ship?
I don't want to have to answer this, but yes, it does. It absolutely does.
All right.
So anyway, it's whatever. It was a new symbol. I didn't know what was going on. I saw a freighter symbol and I was like, that's not my freighter. I'll fly into it, see what's going on. And then I was like, I like this one better. So I bought it. And then what happens is it basically cashes you out of the last one in terms of resources.
Oh, that's nice.
Well, I think it only gives you about half of it back. But
Still.
if you've built this whole thing and then you want to get a different freighter, you know, you're not going to be quite so in the hole. It's not like you lose everything.
Yeah.
So yeah, I started the quests. So once you build that
Quests. Okay.
So once you build like an engineering station, you have to go get like an engineer.
Right.
And you're like, come work for me. And they're like, sure.
Yeah.
I'm not really sure. It sounds like he has voluntarily entered slavery because you don't pay these people.
No, it doesn't seem like there's any sort of negotiation going on.
It's like, yeah, you want to work for me? Yes.
Yep.
All right. The pay is nothing. There are no benefits.
Yep.
There is a chair though. It looks ergonomic.
You're never going to leave it again. But
So I hired my little Gek engineer, and then he's like, man, I wish I had a buddy. Can you build a science thing?
Wow. Okay.
So then you have to do some quests, and you get access to the science thing, and he's asking you to go collect things usually and bring them back to him.
Yeah.
And each time you do that, you unlock more and more stuff that you can build. Right now there's a decent amount. It's not a ton. I guess they're going to add a lot as they go along.
Okay.
My opinion is this is a pretty neat addition and a pretty good sign of things to come if they can add, like we had talked and you had said you were concerned about, well, can they really update the game?
Yeah.
I think that this shows that they can.
Apparently so. Yeah. So I'm mad. Like if I come across somebody else's base, that will procedurally generate in front of my face. That would be pretty awesome. Though it'll never happen. Though I ran into a planet that said it was discovered by somebody else, and I felt like just insanely depressed after that.
Why depressed?
Because some other fucking guy. An entire universe where I know other people exist, but I never see them is a fucking dream. And it's sad to have it shattered.
Oh yeah. Yeah. God, you are so fucked up. I have actually never landed on a planet that was discovered by anyone else.
Wow. Yeah, he discovered the one planet, but none of the moons or anything like that around it, which I thought was a little weird. Like he just ran there, went to this one planet, fucked off.
No, if I land on one planet, I have to land on every single one.
Yeah, that's exactly what I do.
Because I have to name it.
Yeah.
So like there are systems that I have discovered that have no discovered planets. Like I just used it because that was the furthest I could jump, and I was going to jump like 2 or 3 times.
Okay.
So anyway, yeah, I name all my stuff. It's all named exactly the same.
Yeah. What are you up to now? What is it, like System Angelus Tacitus Bullshiticus Latin garbage-ish 225?
Ars Angelus. The ones that I land on are just that there's a different wording for the ones that I don't land on. I'm up to 41 systems.
How's that How's that Roman numeral system working for you?
I'm up to XLI, and then all the planets are like XLI. I changed it a little bit because I just got kind of like it was too many Roman numerals in a row. So now it's like XLI P1 for planet 1.
Oh man.
And then if they're satellites of a planet, it becomes P1 S1 or S2 or whatever. It's a great system. If you ever see an Ars Angelus, whatever, that was me.
That's great.
I was in that. The problem is, like, I'm playing this game and like I'm not like an intensely organized person, but I usually have a plan, right?
Yeah.
When I'm playing this game, it's like, this is the plan now. And then 3 hours later, the plan will change.
Yeah.
And it's basically, I'm just running around like an idiot.
That's cool though. I mean, I feel like that's kind of what the game was supposed to be about.
Yeah. Yeah. But like nominally, I'm supposed to be getting closer to the center of the universe.
Who gives a shit though? I mean,
I do.
I don't fucking care at all about that.
You don't care about anything.
I don't give a shit. It's just going to be some guy and he'll need a starship and he'll be like, well, this is fucking stupid. And that's it.
Yeah.
That'll be the end.
So, the update though did change how some of the planets look. Did you find it to be off-putting that now there are additional or different resources around?
No, I mean, not off put. I thought it, yeah, I mean, I thought it was weird, but
like that sensation lasted 20 seconds.
Yeah, I don't give a shit. Now there
you go.
Yeah, I don't care.
And that was exactly what I said would happen. You'd spawn in and there'd be something that wasn't there before, but then as soon as you leave and go somewhere else, most likely it's the first time anyone's ever seen it.
Yeah.
Even that one guy who discovered just that one planet in that one system that you were in.
That asshole.
He was probably in, just basically like he touched down, he walked around, he saw like a football field worth of the planet and left.
Yeah.
He probably didn't even see the shit you were doing.
No. Fuck him anyway.
Do you remember his name?
It started with a B. I think maybe it was like Bumblebee or something like that. A stupid name or stupid person.
All right. I'm gonna add in here. I don't think we have any news about upcoming updates, but I'm sure we'll talk about it again if there are any. Do you have any closing thoughts on No Man's Sky?
No, I mean, I dig it. I still dig it. I wasn't playing it for a while because I was playing Metal Gear 5 instead, but I mean, I never thought it was a bad game, and now I think it's a better game. So
good. I'm pretty much there. Cool. Next we're talking about Westworld. Westworld, we talked about, I think, the first 2 episodes.
Yeah, I think it was just the first 2, maybe 3, but at least the first 2 episodes.
And kind of gave our first impressions on it. Before we get too deep into actually talking about anything that happened, I think I had given it like 4 stars, and you had given it like 2.5.
I think I was a little. I think I was at maybe 3.
3?
I might have been at even 3, possibly 3.5.
Now that you've seen all 10 episodes or whatever, where would you place that today?
I honestly don't know. I am probably either at a 3 or a 3.5, depending on what aspect of the show I'm talking about. So overall, I don't know. I think probably still a 3.
Okay. I think I am still. I think I'm in the same area as you are. 3 or 3.5.
Okay.
To be honest. That said, like, I'm pretty sure almost everything we're going to talk about now is just riddled with spoilers.
Totally.
And then we're going to talk about The Force Awakens, which, I mean, we're not even going to say spoiler alert because it's been out a year.
Yeah.
If you wanted to see it, you would have seen it by now. So, throwing up the tag, we're going to talk about everything we want to talk about. Where do you want to start?
Why don't you start? I feel like my thoughts about this show are still kind of disorganized. So
do you think it's disorganized because the plot starts to feel ever more confusing?
Yeah, it's like part of it I think is I'm of one mind and then another about whether the writing staff really had any idea what it was doing. So
it's
I
like,
don't know.
Yeah, at times it feels like you're watching someone knot together like 3 or 4 different colored yarn.
Yeah.
And
it's like sometimes an interesting pattern emerges. A lot of times it's chaotic.
Yeah. Well, and here's the thing. I continue to like Anthony Hopkins.
Me too.
Every scene that Anthony Hopkins is in is good for me.
Yeah.
And it's not just because of Anthony Hopkins. You do start to get a little bit more of his character, his motivation, and he has one.
Yeah.
It's fucking bizarre.
Yeah.
But he has one, and it's interesting to see him through the whole thing.
Yeah, for sure.
And I like the way he manipulates people. I am not sure I believe that anyone is that clever.
Yeah.
So that's a little bit, but like I found myself getting like really annoyed every time they would switch back to Maeve, and it's just like, I don't care about this
shit.
character.
Me too. That was probably one of the storyline I struggled the most with because it didn't make any goddamn sense to me. And this was, I think, one of so when I finished the last episode, this is kind of how I felt overall. The show wanted to like move into and kind of discuss, from a sort of philosophical perspective, what is consciousness? What does it mean? Is it a burden? How do you know when it's been achieved? What are its characteristics? And that stuff was interesting. And seeing seeing the sort of representation of consciousness reflected in the maze, all of that stuff is cool, and I can get on board for that. But it felt often like the show was almost more interested in trying to take you down that path than it was in actually establishing like some real boundaries and some real concrete rules for itself. It just sort of ignored basic plot mechanics, I think, too often in favor of wanting to pursue this more philosophical, inquiry, I guess. But with that particular storyline, I don't understand like how she manipulated those two guys to help her out. Like, it just seemed absolutely ridiculous from the very beginning. None of the motivations behind either of those two guys who helped her felt all that clear to me. They both seemed like they were making absolutely ridiculous decisions, basically to service this plot line, and that's all it was. That was really frustrating.
You mean the bandit? Well, Hector and Armistice, was it?
Who's
the
Armistice?
Woman with the tattoo.
Oh yeah.
Face.
I call her Snake Lady.
Snake Lady. Yes.
Those
two
almost kind of made sense, but the two The guys who like repair
the
robots.
techs.
Yeah, the techs. Yeah. What the hell?
Okay.
And like other just basic stuff. Like, what is their level of control where they're at over these particular robots? Because it seems like they can increase their fucking Dungeons and Dragons stats without any real security clearance or anything like that. And none of that somehow none of that like gets detected. But then they've still got to like wheel her up to behavioral. It's just like, I don't really understand.
Yeah,
I still don't really understand how Westworld as an organizational structure works. And I feel like that's really fucking lazy. Like, it's just lazy writing to not kind of fill in some of that stuff.
It seems weird because you have these guys and they're basically engineers. They're just putting shit back together.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Why would you have a behavioral? What does the behavioral department do if not program the behaviors?
Yeah.
And manage the behaviors and alter the behaviors of the hosts? No, I like, particularly as you're getting into the last couple of episodes and I don't even know if they have names, but the Asian one takes them down to the basement.
Yeah.
And you're like, you know, we both work in buildings that have badges.
Yeah.
And like you walk up and you beep next to the door and if you have access, it will open.
Yeah.
But there are areas where you would walk in and you go beep and it would just nothing.
Yeah. And you can track that shit. Like that's what I don't understand about it. Like they could retrace all of his steps. I mean, they should have fired him a long time. Like the Westworld security staff must be one of the worst security staffs because there's like no checks and balances. It seems like.
And then at the end, yes, they were the worst because like the order is like, get quality control in here, just fucking kill everything.
Yeah.
And then they're like aiming and approaching like they're gonna like take them down. It's just like, just shoot them.
Yeah, they are robots.
You can put them back together if you need to.
Yeah.
And so
it's really easy. I mean,
they all just get wasted.
Yeah.
And that was just silly.
It was.
So like presumably though, you did hit on what their motivation was, which was that they don't want to get fired. And it's just like,
it's ridiculous though. It's so ridiculous.
Yeah.
I mean, at a certain point, you know, it's like, just shut her the fuck down and reboot. I don't know. I don't understand their motivations. It seems like they had a number of outs in the situation that they were in and just took absolutely none of them. Just like, well, we got to do it. She tells us we have to, so I guess we have to.
Yeah, you can't call in sick. What the hell is going on?
Exactly. What I mean, it's that kind of stuff that was frustrating, and I feel like when I first watched this show, one of the problems that I had at the time, and it was tried to acknowledge that it was basically a nitpicky, stupid problem, but I feel like it's emblematic of the issues that this show ran into, and it was just basic shit like, how do the fucking guns work? Why? How do they work? How do they distinguish between robot and human? And why does a bullet kill a robot but just bounces off a human? Like that kind of just basic world building. Now I understand, how this process works. I don't think the show had any interest in really delving into that. They only did it in so much as it moved whatever plot they wanted forward.
Well, it starts not to make a lot of sense. Like there are several issues that start to not make a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Like the longer this show goes on, the further out the characters get into the park.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And then eventually it's like, did Westworld just like replace Colorado? Because it seems impractically large.
Absurdly large. Yeah.
How do you get through all this? And then you're at the end and it's like, okay, so the hub is built underground and it's like 8 stories tall or something.
Yeah.
I was just like thinking, I'm not sure if you committed all the resources of America that we could make this place.
It doesn't make any practical sense at all.
And then you get into like the 2 techs we were talking about, and they somehow order a rebuild of Maeve's character because the classic bomb in brain spinal cord. I guess if they put the bomb in the head, people would be like, I've heard that before. But if it's the C6 spinal cord, it's whatever, that can explode.
Yeah.
So they rebuild her and somehow have the clearance to rebuild her without that safety feature.
It's asinine.
And then you're like, so where do they keep like the brains?
Yeah.
What? Like
you just order one, I guess.
But like, how do they retain this knowledge? You've replaced every part of her body except for maybe some of the chestal cavity and what's in her head.
Yeah. But
then we see hosts get shot in the head.
Yeah.
And they come back and it's like, whatever. It missed all the parts of my personality.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't think the show cares like that, and that's what became so frustrating. It's it's the details that it just didn't seem to really concern itself with.
Like there are shows that are completely unconcerned with details that are good.
Yeah,
like if we were to go back to Battlestar Galactica, space, they don't spend 1 minute explaining how anything works.
Right. Which is fine, but but I feel like you're okay to do that as long as you don't like completely fucking violate just basic common sense. I think like people running around in Westworld and bullets bounce off you, but there are still explosions and there's still a lot of knife play. And there's one scene where Ed Harris and James Marsden, they're looking at like what it's like that Civil War army, I think, and they're like, how are we gonna get past these guys to like get to the other side? Well, we have to concoct this plan where we take their uniforms and pretend to be, and it's like, who gives a shit? Why wouldn't Ed Harris just walk in there and blow everyone away? That's what they ended up doing anyway. But it's just, you can't, like, if you can't get hurt and you have a character who is totally driven to find the center of this fucking maze, and that's all he gives a shit about, why wouldn't he just blaze a fucking path right through all these people who can't do anything to him? It's that kind of stuff that, I don't give a shit. Like like his life's not in danger. Nobody's life is really in danger. And yet they will use the threat of violence to motivate, these human characters at times, and it's just a little stupid. It's just a little stupid after a while.
We see some of the guests get knocked unconscious. We see Ed Harris, he gets knocked unconscious. Sure. William gets knocked unconscious. People get captured and arrested. They can be manhandled. But yeah, that's...
Yeah.
If you go in guns a-blazing, I think you got a pretty stand-up shot.
But there's part of me, too, that's like, how then does park security, like, work? They're like... As the McPoyle brother is searching for, what's her face? Is it Daisy, the blonde-haired robot? Like, couldn't he just place a call to park security and be like, hey, where the fuck is this robot? I'm looking for her.
Well, they have these fabulous tablets that can do anything. Right? I don't know why.
It's just basic shit like that where I don't.
Well,
yeah.
And they also have clearly demonstrated when they had that one guy fall in the crevasse that they can locate any.
Yeah. It's no effort. So
yeah,
I don't get it.
You got the state of Colorado. You can pinpoint anything. Well, that actually wouldn't be that hard. GPS, it'd do like 80% of the work for you. Anyway, and to get into the impracticality, how many scenes did we have that you just saw like 30, 40, 50, 100 people just murdered everywhere?
Yeah.
You're like, how many times can you play through? Like,
yeah, that's the other thing. Yeah, that's the other thing I don't really understand about how the park works, because it seems like they just shit out these robots all the fucking time. And you blow up a building. I guess the park staff comes in the middle of the night, totally fixes the building, it's completely fine. Glass gets replaced every day. It's just, and I always wonder, like, do they come and do they just assume like all the guests are asleep at night and they get all this work done at night, bang it all out in like 4 or 5 hours? Guests wake up all promptly at 8 o'clock in the morning, and
it's not real clear how many humans are in this park at any given time.
Yeah, it seems like 2.
Because it seems far more practical that, like, that, you know, the original Westworld, like when you start, it kind of seems like there's a farm over here and then there's a town over here. Yeah. And like, okay.
It's pretty modest. Yeah.
And you see a couple of other guests, and you kind of can rationalize it, but it just keeps getting bigger and bigger.
Yeah.
And it's like, and you even see that, like, the guests or the hosts play out these storylines whether or not there are people around.
Yeah.
So Maeve, who is doing something, walks out to try to get the bandito to help her. Yeah. And they all shoot each other. And it's like, why? For step 1 in expense management. Yeah. I don't, it's the question of, if a tree falls in the forest, does it make a sound? Well, the answer is, if it costs money to make that sound and there's no one there to hear it, then no. Do not reproduce the sound.
Yeah. Yeah. And yeah, I mean, to your point earlier, certainly there are shows that don't pay, a lot of attention to details and are still good. I think with this one, it's just the sheer volume of the impracticality of a park like this and how it works, that, I mean, you've got to spend some time on that. You've got to spend some time building that up if you want to take me, at least, on this larger storyline involving, what is consciousness and all that, because I don't really give a shit what you think consciousness is if you can't tell me how the fucking guns work in this place.
Yeah, I'd have gotten past the guns, but it started to compound
I mean that
itself.
For the larger, that's just a synecdoche or whatever.
I guess I liked everything to do with Bernard's story for the most part.
Yeah, for the most part. I mean, I like that. Yeah, I like that actor too. But yeah,
he did a really, really good job.
Yeah,
I'm all over the place. Yeah, this conversation is no less disorganized than the plot, though.
I know, it's hard to talk about. It's hard to talk about, and I think part of that is because, like, some of it is kind of genuinely interesting.
There's lots of stuff.
Yeah.
Though a lot of the dialogue is just hitting you in the face with like, I don't know, whatever random thing the writer wants you to think about, but not like kind of letting you figure it out yourself. There's a lot of positive statements or positive assertions that I don't know.
Yeah.
So
it's weird. I feel like I can't say that this. I certainly can't say that this is a bad show, but it is a frustrating show.
Okay. I'm gonna try to play off this like I wasn't just about to ask this question. Anyway, end of the show. No more Anthony Hopkins.
Yeah.
Apparently, plot line is just all an elaborate attempted suicide.
Yeah.
And then we get like the uprising
Yeah.
of the machines.
Yeah.
Do you even care if there's a season 2?
I don't. I really don't.
I kind of just like it.
Yeah.
I don't think there's a way to explore. Like that becomes a completely different show.
It does. Yeah. Which, I mean, it could potentially be interesting. It can't just be a bunch of pissed off robots. I mean, they've got to like really explore. Well, now we're a bunch of robots. How do we organize ourselves? How do we even think of ourselves as individuals? Like that, you know, the internal politics of that might be interesting because it's something that we haven't really seen before. But I mean, I don't know, though. At the same time, I kind of fell in love with Serpent Girl a little bit in the last episode because it was so ridiculous. So there's part of me that's like, if you want to make a season 2 that's 10 episodes of just Serpent Girl being action movie badass, I'll watch that. I'll totally watch that. But
no,
I would watch it. I would get into it.
No,
but yeah, short of that, I really don't. I'm really not interested.
Do you have anything else you want to add? Because I have no idea how to continue to talk about this show.
No, I don't. It's over. It was fine.
Yeah, it's. I'll probably watch it again if I can. I don't know.
Yeah,
it's got interesting stuff. It's got nice scenes, and then it's got shit scenes, and then it's got
Yeah. Okay. That part of that. One quick question: Did you understand, like, when was it Daisy? Is that her name? The blonde-haired girl, the like main character, more or less, of the show. Dolores. All right, maybe it's that. When she meets up with James Marsden or whatever, and she's shot, and they take her to the beach, and then the lights come on, and that's like the new storyline or whatever. Did you? I don't know. That seemed like a weird transition to me.
Yeah, I think by this point they're just playing around with things that they can do.
Yeah.
I don't think that those people were on the beach. Well, okay, here's the thing. They've already established, and I'm going to try to rationalize it within the logic of the show. At some point, Jeffrey Wright, Bernard takes the one lady that he used to be sleeping with, Teresa, down into the basement and says, yeah, this is an old facility that we don't really use anymore. If you were a host and you were to come down here, you couldn't even see this area.
Yeah.
Because they're programmed to ignore it.
Yeah. So
I think we're supposed to be kind of experiencing that scene through Marsden's performance.
Okay.
So he's taking her to the beach, lays her down, and it's all, those two people. And like anything could be going on as long as they were programmed not to notice it.
Yeah. That's not bad. I like that.
I think that has to be what.
Yeah.
Or it was just lazy transition, and I am rationalizing.
That's kind of what I felt like it was, but I like yours better, so we'll go with that.
Yeah. I don't know. Subject over. I don't.
All right.
I have a feeling that if we keep talking about it, I'm gonna get more frustrated about the show.
I know.
And it has robots in it, and I am contractually required to like it.
Well, no spaceships, so.
iRobot's not about a robot, is it? Mr. Robot?
Mr. Robot. No. No.
I'm not going to watch it.
It's Christian Slater's in it. I still haven't watched it.
Yeah, I don't care. I'm not going to lie. Christian Slater's fine.
Christian Slater fucking rules.
But I do not have the man crush on him that you do.
He's awesome.
Star Wars: The Force Awakens is the 7th episode. Wow.
Yeah.
I guess.
Episode 7.
It picks up 30, 40, 50 years after the events of The Return of the Jedi, and it really shows on Harrison Ford's face.
Yes, it does.
This movie came out last year about this time. It is part of what a lot of people would refer to as a soft reboot.
Yeah.
Which is kind of a continuation, but also kind of a passing of the torch. This is kind of like the Star Trek Generations.
Yeah, it is kind of.
Star Wars movies. So what did you think of The Force Awakens?
I like it well enough. I've only seen it once, and that was in theaters. But some of this I think is due to I never was like a massive Star Wars fan, even as a kid. So my expectations really aren't that high for it in the first place. I don't know. I feel like I see it for what it is. It's a repeat of the first movie, the first real Star Wars movie.
Kind of.
And it's enjoyable enough. So that's it. The plot more or less hangs together. And I actually do like the characters in this movie. So yeah. Yeah,
you're into Kylo Ren and all that.
Kylo Ren's fine. I actually kind of like that he's sort of a pussy. I kind of appreciate that aspect of him, because it's not really like we haven't really seen a villain like that, at least in the Star Wars films, unless you consider Anakin in the prequels. But
man,
we were stuck with him as a fucking protagonist, which was brutal.
I had a lot of issues with this movie. And I had a lot of issues with this movie because well, for one, I could not get behind this mystery villain, and then Kylo Ren and his red-headed general.
Yeah.
Oh man. There's something just unintimidating about General Hux.
Yeah.
It's just like, you are too pasty to scare me, sir.
Yeah.
I mean,
this what the hell are they called? The first order? Is that what they're called now?
Yeah, something like that.
They're by far, yeah. I mean, I think as a whole entire structure, it's a little less imposing.
Does it seem like they're just a cult on a planet?
I don't understand, because it seems like they have really an unbelievable amount of resources. And so there's part of me that's like, I thought in Return of the Jedi, the fucking rebels won. So
yeah,
like,
well, there's clearly a republic, because they blow up the republic planets.
Yeah,
all at once, which is
I don't know. That seems like just an astounding failure of the intelligence community, I guess. I
don't like the whole,
but
so Star Killer Base is also
it's dumb. It's dumb, but
I don't like it.
It's
I don't
dumb.
like it.
I just don't care. I don't know. I mean, it's yeah, for me it's I realize it's basically dumb. It's a repeat of the Death Star. It's just a stupid Death Star on steroids.
That can magically suck stuff out of a star.
That's right. Yeah.
What would you do with that?
I don't know.
How would you contain it?
Blow up other stuff with it.
I guess. Yeah. It's just magic.
It's
like
the
planet casts vampiric touch on on the star, and then focuses that into magic missiles.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I honestly think it's just a function of the fact that if I watch a Star Wars movie, I'm just looking for it to be mildly entertaining. And that's all. And this was that for me.
So, like, when you were growing up, were you like really into Star Wars?
No, shit, no.
Okay.
No.
So I think we are approaching it from slightly different places.
Yes, I'm sure we
Because
are.
I was really into Star Wars as a kid, and then I kind of like Star Trek. And then at a certain point, Star Wars started to get dumber, and I started to get smarter.
Yeah.
Or more mature. No,
Yeah.
that doesn't even apply. Really. Other than going to work.
Just
I don't know.
older.
Older, mostly older. Wiser. So there was nothing about this that I would make me want to ever watch it again.
Yeah,
Like-
I mean, yeah, I've only seen it the one time.
Unintimidating villain.
Yeah.
It kind of feels like they're already playing the redemption card like way too early.
Yeah, it does. Yeah.
I don't like Rey.
I actually do.
Well-
do.
Is it because she's good at everything?
So I know that is a little, I don't know. That does get a little frustrating. She's like, I can wield a lightsaber. I've never done it before, but fuck yeah, I can.
What do you do? I collect sheet metal and
Yeah.
turn it into this guy for food.
Yeah.
However,
Until I pick up a lightsaber.
if required, I am a serviceable mechanic. I can pilot a ship. I know how to laser sword fight. I can actually manipulate things with my mind.
Which is awesome. Should have been utilizing that skill a long time ago.
Yeah. I'll give you 3 rations for it. You'll give me 6 rations for it.
Yeah.
I'll give you 6 rations for it.
Yeah.
Didn't figure that one out.
Yeah. It's annoying, but I like that actress. And I like her accent. So that's, I mean,
So
it's that ridiculous.
Well, like, and I'll go to an actor that I like in this who gives a great performance. Flawless, you might say. Mark Hamill.
Yeah.
I like him, but I don't like this movie that he is in.
Well,
Like,
I mean,
I
he's
can-
barely in it, but
I'm actually making a little bit of a joke, but like you and I could talk about all the Star Trek movies. There are Star Trek movies that you probably don't like.
yeah, of course. Yeah.
Do any of them have numbers?
Star Trek movies?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, from the beginning,
Yeah.
yeah, I like 1, I like 2, I like 3, I like 4. I think 5 is garbage. And I like 6. And then,
And yet 5 has all of the characters you like,
yeah,
played by all of the actors that you like.
yeah,
So I can like these actors and think that the movie is garbage,
yeah,
which is where I'm at.
that's fine. I get it. But yeah, I just don't really.
I don't have a lot of opinion on Daisy Ridley or John Boyega, though I think
I like
Finn
him
is a
too.
miserable character.
I like Finn. Finn's fine.
Finn
He's fine.
needed to take something seriously.
Eh.
He vacillates wildly between being a coward and being like
Yeah.
it's like sometime when he was being groomed from what appears to be youth until that very moment when he realized he didn't want to be a stormtrooper to be a stormtrooper.
Yeah.
And in his spare time, what was he reading? Like Arthurian legend? Why
Yeah.
does he have such a white knight complex? Because
Because he's
He
there to
s- he
supply
sees-
comic relief and
he
push the
sees
fucking
Rey.
plot forward. That's
yeah, but like he needed, like, if he's not taking the plot seriously, how am I supposed to take the plot seriously?
he does on occasion. On occasion. That's it.
Okay.
I don't know. It's fine, but I mean, you could in some ways maybe potentially make some of the same argument about someone like Tony Stark when he is in Avengers movies, where he will vacillate between levity or now all of a sudden this guy's death is really fucking important to me, and now I really have to do something about it.
Not that
he's a
movie
way
doesn't
better
vacillate.
character. And he's had the opportunity to be fleshed out, certainly, and he's played by a fucking magician of an actor. But yeah, I don't know. It just doesn't bug me that much, and it's probably because I'm not that emotionally invested in Star Wars.
Well, I'm not, but I'm still disappointed. Well, I'm not anymore, but like every time it's like they're they're beating a dead horse. And there's a part of me that looks at that and says, that was my goddamn horse.
Yeah.
That was my horse.
Yeah.
You're kicking my dead horse.
I think if we talk about the Star Trek movies, we'll be on the exact same page for the exact same reasons. So I feel like if I cared as much about Star Wars as I do about Star Trek, I'd probably be really pissed off at this movie.
All right.
Because
that
yeah,
said,
I mean, it's more or less a cheap facsimile of a much better movie.
Okay. That said, are you looking forward to seeing Rogue One?
Yeah. For stupid reasons, but yeah.
What's the stupid reason?
I really like Donnie Yen. I'm very excited to see him in this movie.
Okay, whatever.
That's actually the thing I'm probably the most excited about.
I am really interested to see if they can pull this off with, a serious story and without becoming like schlock again.
Yeah.
Oh God, I'm gonna complain about The Force Awakens again.
Okay.
Are you ready?
Yeah.
I like Oscar Isaac as an actor. He's fine.
Yeah.
I even like the name Poe Dameron. But I was extremely annoyed at his proficiency with flying.
Isn't he? That's what he's supposed to be.
Yeah, but he was like way too good. And then like there's a part of me, and then it's like some motherfucker's gonna grow up and they're gonna be like, Wedge didn't know what he's doing.
Yeah.
Poe Dameron.
Yeah.
Like, barrel roll and all that stuff. It's like, that looks silly. No one's that good.
You're just an old bastard.
I played Star Wars
Holy
Battlefront.
Shit.
And I couldn't do that. It's garbage. I hate it. So I'm kind of hoping with the new one that we're going to have a little bit more of a grounded, realistic thing happening.
Yeah. Yeah, I would like that, and I would like something more that is more or less new and straightforward.
Yeah.
I want to see a story that I haven't seen before already.
I'm also kind of excited about the prospect of someone actually making a movie that is a tragedy.
Yeah. They'll all get away at the end.
God, if they do, I'll be a little bit sad.
Yeah.
It would be very interesting to see if they actually made a tragedy, like a blockbuster tragedy.
I hope not. Nothing can kill Donnie Yen. Nothing.
I'm sure time will get to him.
Fuck that. He'll kung fu chop that shit to pieces.
Okay. Oh man, Star Wars. It just brings the worst out of everybody.
Yeah, I don't know. Do you struggle a little bit with sometimes I'm not sure if it's fair to like shit on some of these properties because they are so basic. And because, the appeal is so like like the movies are designed to have, I think nowadays, an almost absurdly broad appeal. And I think for us to even expect something as good or even close to as good as those original 3 movies is kind of unrealistic as it is a franchise now. I mean, I don't think we're going to see the kind of care and inventiveness that was brought to the creation of those other 3 movies in anything subsequent, because now it's a corporation basically. And so yeah, I think like in watching The Force Awakens, I guess we more or less got basically exactly what I thought we were going to get, which was a very safe Star Wars movie. And I don't know. I'm not sure how realistic it is to expect anything different from that.
All right. So I see where you're going. And I think to a large degree, you can probably say, you know, there's some truth to that. If you look at even Star Trek movies, after they got through the first 6, it does feel like they try again and again to just remake, you know, Wrath of Khan, because that worked.
Yeah.
The only problem is that there are not that many Ricardo Montalbans.
Yeah. That is an issue.
I believe there are currently 0.
Yeah.
So you look at that, but then you have, and I don't mean to say that's the only one, because there are plenty of other things that have several. You get into Harry Potters, and I don't know, maybe some of them are better, some of them are worse. I hear that the magical beasts and where to find them or whatever isn't exactly clicking with a lot of people, but you get into the serialization and then it's just churn out another thing that'll make us money.
Yeah.
But then you see things like, well, James Bond is like the most serialized thing ever.
Yeah.
There are 24 of those now or something.
Yeah.
Casino Royale was arguably the best one ever made.
Yeah.
So you can reinvent things, you can reinvigorate. So I don't think that you can just write it off as, well, just give it to JJ and JJ will, you know, put together 2 hours worth of CGI with lots of people running and it'll work. It'll be fine. Yeah. Like, how hard could it be?
Yeah.
So I don't want to say that it's not possible or that to redo it. I think part of like trying to do more with Star Wars when it was pretty much a complete hero journey already is that, like, what is there to resolve?
Yeah.
And if you always, no matter what you do, no matter how big the super bad MacGuffin is,
yeah,
you blow it up. So there's still an empire.
Yep.
Like, why even bother?
Yeah.
Right? If it's always going to be empire versus the Republic or the rebels, then it's just like watching a stalemate.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. Star Wars is so, it's big. Like those, like that kind of storyline, I feel like is, I mean, are there more interesting directions it could go in? Yes. Would it have helped if we had some kind of background behind the First Order, how the fuck they rose to power, actually been able to get invested in some of those characters, like you are with, you know, someone like the Emperor or Darth Vader from the original movies. I don't think there's any damn chance of that of that ever really happening.
Well, I just texted the writers of Westworld, and they think that it's not necessary.
I'm sure they don't give a shit.
That said, I mean, yeah, I think all of those things make sense. But let's let's look at the superhero genre. Genre, you blow up bigger and bigger sections of Manhattan or the world or even in Doctor Strange, all of reality.
Yeah.
Then you get down to Civil War and you have a fight.
Yeah.
And you lose some cars and planes and trucks. But and a tower.
Yeah.
That appeared to be unoccupied.
Yeah.
But it wasn't like a really serious construction.
Yeah.
But you lost a tower and a hangar. It's fine. Pretty small scale.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying make another Ewok adventure movie, though when I was of the appropriate age, I found that movie to be fascinating.
I'm sure you did.
But why not make it smaller? Why not tell more individual tales? Because
well, hopefully that's what Rogue One will be.
But Rogue One is supposed to be a one-off.
Yeah.
So, I mean, and I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that. It'll fill in the gap. It'll give us a story about, hopefully, bravery and sacrifice.
Yeah.
But, I think that you're giving them too much of an out. And if they're just going to make, why even bother making them?
Yeah. Then? And I'm not saying that it's unreasonable to, I guess, expect more. I guess just mitigating against expecting something like A New Hope and Empire, and Return of the Jedi. I just don't think that this franchise is even capable of delivering something like that ever again.
Well, I mean, and I don't think that either one of us are going to walk into it thinking that we're going to get an empire out of it.
No.
But I mean, we both walked into the 2009 Star Trek, and at the time it was a functional movie. It wasn't as infuriating as then the context later made it become.
Yeah.
So, I mean, we walked in, we had a decent enough time. That's something that matters a lot more to both of us than Star Wars ever will.
Fuck
probably.
Yeah.
And then we came out open-minded, and I think that year was a bad year for movies because it was at the top of our lists for most of that summer. I think.
Jesus Christ, that's that's not a great year.
There's a lot of shoulder shrugging that year.
Yeah.
It's not so good.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah.
Anyway,
I don't know. I guess I enjoy it well enough if you don't think about it. That's probably it. That's probably how I'm going to try to watch Rogue One. I will. The film can enter my eyeballs and go through the other side.
I cannot turn off my brain for most movies. I mean, maybe Super Troopers 2.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to that.
That might be a better movie. So.
It probably will be. It probably will be.
Yeah.
Then Force Awakens. Jury's out. We're going to see Rogue One. Hopefully be back with you guys in a week or two.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
I don't know. I don't want to fight a crowd. We'll see
it depends on how fucked up the theaters are.
Yeah. I'm sure they'll be terrible.
Yeah. People waving lightsabers. Just, God damn it.
Oh, yeah. You're a Wookiee. That's cute.
Man, that I don't understand. I don't understand that level of enthusiasm. I don't know. I don't get it. So excited to, I love Star Trek, but you go to every Star Trek movie I'm not about to celebrate this fucking thing. It's gotta.
So I am pretty sure, and this may be a change of your position, but you used to think the opposite, that you would enjoy the freak show. But I think that might have been when we were in high school.
That was probably then. Yeah, that was probably then. Now it's everywhere. I mean, but when we were in high school, neither one of us, I'm sure, expected to see the kind of culture that we're in today. As far as nerd shit is concerned,
it would be hard. It would be hard to see it.
Yeah, I don't think I never would have expected this level. You never would have expected a fucking good Captain America or Iron Man or Thor or Avengers movie or any of that shit.
Yeah, you'd have been hard pressed to even think that there would have been an Iron Man movie when we were growing up.
Now that shit is everywhere.
And it's all out of control. Yeah. You got all these new ones. You got people who are way into Harry Potter. You have people who are way into fucking Twilight or something.
Yeah. And it's great. I mean, it's great, but I don't really get it.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, well. If it's not for us, then it's not for us. People can do whatever they want as long as they don't hurt each other.
Oh, fuck them. Who cares? Fuck everybody. Everyone is shit.
So
that's why I play No Man's Sky. Fucking Bumblebee.
Dickhead. You're gonna file a complaint with?
I should. I'm gonna email Sean.
It says
motherfucker.
The title is No Man's Sky. I went to a planet and some motherfucker's been here. He's clearly also been in the sky too.
Yeah. I want him erased.
Okay. Well, I think we have run out of things to talk about.
Great.
So that has been episode number 9 of Wednesday Night Gentlemen, Multimedia Empire official podcast. Thank you everyone for watching. Please feel free to like or subscribe to our channel if you've enjoyed our banter, and we will see you on episode number 10. Double digits of the Wednesday Night Gentlemen podcast.